Yeah, so before I start with, let me welcome everyone. To this first of the event. I would like to say that Deudash, Deudash. Deudash is really something which will make a dashing entry in everyone's life. That is what it is, because it quite resonates with what we say. Our PM is saying that to be Atmanirbhar. And it's one of the way wherein the slogan of Deudash says that making every startup invest able. So that is obviously leading the path towards Atmanirbhar, one of the thing. The second thing is, yes, we do have ideas, but where we lack is to make it a reality. And anything when we try to make it a reality needs a big funding, because we cannot compensate at that end. So compensating at funding it is really difficult. How to raise these funds and how to get the things? It's easy to get the things, but once we know what worth we do have, how much we do worth it. So knowing how much we do worth it, we should know somewhere to make ourselves worth of it. And that is how it's really a fortunate thing that we do have Mr. Pramod Jain with us today. And I think I'll just say a brief sentence about it, because if I start saying about him, I take 10 minutes right now. So that I'll do at the post. Just to introduce Mr. Pramod Jain is today's expert, dear student. Let him evaluate and help you to moderate your valuation. And at the end, I'll just share with you what he is. So let us just start now with our things. So today, actually, we had a number of registrations. I would say the total participants registered with us today were 7. Out of them, 4 have given the confirmation, and remaining people said that they might not be able to join, because one of them was just a raw thing, an idea. And I said, for an idea, it's not the right platform, because you cannot have a valuation of the idea at this moment. And that is how one was already cancelled, and 2 of them came across some unavoidable circumstances, and that is how I got a message today. So total 4 will be there. I could see the participants over here. But before we start with, I would hand over to Mr. Michael to let people know here about Deudash. Yes, over to you, Michael.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks, Bhavna, first for introduction. I'm very excited for this first Deudash Pune event. We from Deudash, we really want to ensure that we can build these local communities with you guys. So maybe just a short words about Deudash, what is this all about, and then I would go back to you, Bhavna. With Deudash, we work on an issue that most founders face: how to become investable, how to raise funds. You know, like if you want to build a business, you need capital. And sadly, more than 90% of startups are not able to do this. We fail in this process. And then also the idea we have with that is gone. We want to change this. So we started Deudash to bring together, founders like you, experts, investors, to really educate that you understand, how do I build a business that people will buy from? How do I raise funding, receive it, and go through that process? And with Deudash, we enable you connect with like-minded people, find your co-founders, build your team, get the knowledge you need, go through structured programs such as accelerators, incubators, and much more. So for that, we started with Deudash Global Community to really help you on that path, on that journey, and with that also local communities, like here we have in Pune. So you also have that local ecosystem, that support on your journey. And with events like these, we want to educate you. We have here Pramod Jain as an expert. We will hear some interesting startups today. I'm very excited for that. If you need any support, I would suggest you that you all join the Deudash community today. I will share the link also for the Deudash Pune community, because where we will able to work on any issues, any problems you have. That was just like a short introduction from my side. Otherwise, I would give it back to Bhavna, and looking forward to a great event.
Thank you, Michael. And I think, yes, sure, what you are expecting, it will be really exciting to have this, what we call the city of Peshwas, because always the city does have its own, I would say, its own structure and its own flagship. And that is what it will do with Deudash also, because Pune coming up as an zone of startups surely we'll get so many things when it has to go global with people or some avenues like DoDash. So looking forward for it. And let us start with today's event. And the first thing I would invite Mr. Akshay Tijore for this event. Before I say anything, I would ask Akshay himself to introduce about his startup. And let us look into, yes, Akshay, do you need a sharing to share your presentation? You can use it.
Yeah, I have prepared one presentation, so it will be great if you
You
allow
can
me.
do that. No
Yeah,
issues.
okay. Yeah,
Go on, Akshay. Yes.
yeah. I think who's disabled.
Yeah, 1 second. Just to see what's. Give me 1 second. And
Yeah.
then you make like a small change. Change like a setting here. Yeah, now it should work. Try it again.
Yeah, now I can. Okay, is it?
Yeah, yes, you try it again. It should work now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. First of all, thanks Michael, Bhavna, and Pramod sir for giving us this opportunity. And as a start. Hello.
I think you were gone. We didn't hear you.
Yes,
And you're not sharing your screen. Maybe you try kind of resharing again.
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can
see
see
now?
it. Yes.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks to you, Michael, Bhavna ma'am, and Pramod sir for giving this opportunity. I'm Akshay Tijore. So about me, like I work for research and development in mechanical field for last 8 years, and previous year in FTC 2020 robotics, I got the opportunity to mentor one team from Pune itself, and we won the Indian championship for that. But in that event, I came to know that this is FTC competition, or many robotic competitions are for the like rich people. Those have they have finance to get the kits and all those things. They can get it easily. But what about the major part of the Indian country? Like they can't afford those kits. Like it is very costly kit. So I come up with the idea that we should have some affordable solution for it. So a few things about it. So this is a 3D Guru company which I started. So this is started back in 2020, like in June 2020. So I'm proposing to develop a kit here. Okay, so STEM D kit, that is science, technology, engineering, maths, and design kit. So we will provide this. So this is my team. I'm Akshay Tijore, then Ankit, Dr. Rahul sir, Kirti, Trupti, and Rohan Chavan. This is my team, and in that team there are like a lot of people are there. So mainly these people are handling these teams. Okay, so when I was working for that robotics competition, I came to know few problems present in our education system. That is a lack of infrastructure, poor global ranking of institutes, system of our education, gap between education provided and industry required, like all sort of these things. Then there are gender issues, costly higher education, then inadequate funding, then adoption of new technology. So these are the major problems I see while working in that field. So I come up with the idea that we should provide some practical based solution, which is task oriented. It should be a low cost, and it should be readily available to the kids. And it should have some proper tutorials for them. And it is easily, as of now, everybody is having internet at their homes. So it should be accessible from internet itself to spread its accessibility. So right now there are some kits present in India market. That is a Lego Mindstorm kit. It is very good kit, I can say, but it is costly. So on US market, it is like only $350. But when it comes to India, it is nearly 55,000 thousands of rupees. So normally people cannot afford it. So and what they can afford is a Indian based market kit. That is a very generic kit. So you can see there are some wires, connectors, and all those things. But by using this kit, I think we are making some workers, not intelligent persons. So this kit is basically come with like instructions. So you have to put wire here, 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 and like sort of things. So it is training to be a worker, not as a leader, or we can say innovative people. So for that, we come up with the idea that we should bridge the gap between the intelligent circuits or kits and affordable ones. So uh, uh, I can see as the existing market kit is it is too costly, the Lego ones, and compared to Indian market. And generic ones are very primitive, so it is just soldering wires and connecting things and here and there. So there is no provision for video tutorial on kit as of now. As we can see, each and every kid is working on like mobiles and tablets for getting their education classes. But I'm thinking to provide it on the robotic kit itself, that they can see the video tutorials or any other things on that kit itself. Also, these kits which are right now present, they lack precision, and aesthetically they are very boring looking. So as kids are going to use this, I think it should be aesthetically appealing as well, so that they can be like they can get very interest into that one. So for this, I'm giving one solution, that is a STEM-D kit. It is named as Curiosity Hunter. So yeah, so in this kit will be like, it will be a low cost one. There will be a one colored screen on which they can see the video tutorials, or they can do some programming, and they can see a whole program on that kit itself. So it should be Wi-Fi enabled, so that it is directly connected to internet, and they can access to our video tutorials or any other study material present on our website. So it should be in the easy to carry boxes. So, and teacher guidelines should be there to teach those type of kits, or how to use them to the kids. Then this Curiosity Hunter 1. So for the first generation, we have given the name to it like Curiosity Hunter 1. So in that first version, we will provide some software for the programming of the robot, and we are also providing the onboard Wi-Fi system to the brick. So also it is having some inbuilt batteries. It is having touch sensors, ultrasonic sensor, and color sensor to perform different tasks. It is having stepper motors to run the robot itself. And in version 2, we are also introducing image processing unit with the help of onboard camera. So yeah, that is the next step for us. And we will also provide some video tutorials and some templates on our website, which can be accessible through this brick itself. So that they will not need any mobile phones or tablets or computers to run this kit. This is the case with the Lego Mindstorm kit. The kid should always use like tablet or computer for programming their robots. But in our case, it will be done by our kit itself, the screen itself. Then current status of my project is like electronic embedded system is working on integration of sensors with the microcontroller. So as of now, they have integrated few sensors with the microcontroller. Also, IT team is developing the firmware for and software part of this. So they have right now in the position that they have integrated firmware, and drag and drop facility is done right now. And once the drag and drop is done, the background programming is it is generating automatically. So that is the milestone which we achieved in September 2020. And mechanical team is working on housing for the sensors. So first of all, we are going to 3D print it for the prototypes. And once everything is done, we will go for injection molding part and like production itself. So proof of concept will be ready by December 2020. So like 1.5 months more, and we will be done for a first prototype. So as a business model, so as in right now Indian government has done it mandatory to teach coding and robotics for on sixth above standard kids. So I think it is a very huge market for us. So selling the kits on online and offline platform, like we have Amazon, Flipkart and all those things. Also offline platforms, such as we have to collaborate with some schools and all those stuff. So we'll provide some trainings itself. Then arranging robotic competitions, which is there should be mandatory, like you should use our kits to participate into that competition. And targeting different STEM education related private institutes, so that they can easily get the kits in affordable rates, and they can utilize it for their business development. And global stats are like in 2014 it is expected to be like 2030 381 billion millions by 2020. So there is a huge market for this. We just have to cater this huge market. So our self forecast is like considering only Maharashtra schools. So there are more than 84,000 schools available in Maharashtra. So the SAM quantity is 8,400. So only 10% I'm considering. And apart from that, only 10% for serviceable obtainable market. I'm looking for only 10% for the first year. That is 840 school. And considering 5 kids per school, in first year itself, it will need 4,200 number of kids. I'm talking about only schools in Maharashtra, not private institutes or of online and offline platform. So I'm considering the total selling cost of the one kit is nearly 15,000 rupees. So that revenue generated in the first year would be around 63 lakhs of rupees. So task in front of us is right now, we are looking for a finance for the production. Then business development plan is still pending. Pending is it is ongoing. It is still developing it. So R&D is going on as a satisfactory pace. Website is also ongoing. Product manufacturing and assembly. It is vendors are already finalized. I already visited the facilities where we are going to manufacture these parts, like for the mass production point of view. So assemblies, I have already discussed with the vendor, so they are ready to manufacture this product. And service center is also pending, because after selling the kits, we also have to provide some service, like after sales service. For that, we are also thinking about to establish one service center, which is pending right now. So these are the milestones which we already, some are already achieved and some are in near future. So currently, I will say that we are at beginner level. So project statement is finalized in June 2020 itself. Then team finalization and task distribution was done in that month only. So individual sensor integration part is done previous month, September 2020. Now POC and software and firmware integration will be done in December itself. So it is in near future, like within a month we are looking for it. CAD development will take some time, as we are going for injection molding. So it is making, it will, and also we have to get the aesthetic looks and all those things. So I'm planning to hire one industrial designer which can do some industrial designs, and we can develop some CAD models. Then we will 3D print it. And once the final look or one prototype of the product is done, we will go for production. Once the final, we will get the financer for these kits. Then marketing in full scale should be, we are looking in June 2020. So sorry, June 2021, 1 year next. So this is my project. So yeah. So over to you, ma'am. If any questions or anything, any query.
Sure, you have to evaluate now. You have described about your startup. Now evaluate your startup yourself. Yeah.
Okay. So as of now, I would say we are at the beginner level, but we are looking at very, I have got a very nice team here, as you can see here. Just a minute. Yeah. So Ankit Gupta is the business development partner. So he's already doing business development for companies. Then Dr. Rahul Polsar, he recently got his PhD in robotics. So yeah, so this is my team. From the evaluation point of view, I would say we are at the beginner level, but we have a potential to come up with this project as soon as possible. And we are looking forward to have some mentors itself to get more things done. Hello.
Yes, yes, okay, but valuation is still there. How do you evaluate what do you think your company would be worth of?
Uh, uh, I didn't under like I don't know how to give this answer, but because we haven't gone through this, and this is my first time to give this such presentations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then now I would request Mr. Pramod Jain to take over, sir. Hello? Hello? Yes, sir.
First of all, Akshay, heartiest. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Very good. So first of all, Akshay, heartiest congratulations
Thank you, sir.
for the product that you have just explained to all of us. My prima facie impression is that this is definitely a workable product proposition, and I'm sure is certainly going to add value for the okay. Now how do you do the evaluation of any business proposition? So what you will need to do, you have shared certain details with regard to the market which you are expecting to be 84,000 in totality as far as Maharashtra is concerned. Then you are taking 10% of that and further taking it 10%, and assuming the selling price, you are showing up 63 lakh as the profit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So now how do you do the evaluation, Akshay? Let me tell you. देखो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा सबसे पहले. I think first of all what you will need to do is you will need to make a business plan. And when I say business plan, essentially it will have to have two things. Number one, it will need to have your project cost. So if you have to put the entire project in reality, because today you are still at the stage of R&D and things like that. But if the product has to be sold on commercial basis, then you need to expect as to what kind of infrastructure would you require for this purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say infrastructure, that means it would include everything. It would include the capital expenditure, it will include the organization and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is number one. And then what you will need to do, you will need to have a business plan. So when I say business plan, what do I mean? That means you will need to estimate that over next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, what kind of demand your product is going to have, or how many units you will be able to sell going forward over a period of 5-10 years. Now, once you do that, Akshay, then you will be able to estimate. You will be able to estimate that at the end of the year for next 5, 7, 10 years, how much is the cash is going to be in your hand, right? Because ultimately, please remember, value of any business, whether it's startup or existing or well established, doesn't really matter. Value of any business will depend on how much cash does it generate. Because what is value? Value is money.
Right.
So how much cash will your business generate? That will determine as to what is going to be the value of your business going forward. अब उसमें मैं बहुत ज़्यादा टेक्निकली नहीं जाऊंगा at this point in time, because we will need to have a separate session for the purpose of technicality. लेकिन अब valuation जब हम कर रहे हैं तो हम क्या कर, what we are doing when we are trying to do valuation, we are trying to find out as to what is the worth of this business. So the worth of business will be decided based on how much profit do you earn over its life. There are different models available for the purpose of determining how much will be the value. But in simple words, if I can tell you, simple words, in very simple words, if let's say over next 10 years, if for very simple example, over next 10 years, if your business is going to generate cash in terms of present value of, let's say, 50 crore, your business over the next 5-10 years is going to generate cash profit in terms of present value 50 crores, and assuming that the cost of the capital of the person who is wanting to invest money into your business is 10%. That means the value of your business becomes 500 crore. So, okay, do not go by the numbers. Do not think that these numbers are too big, nor think that these numbers are too small, because only time would tell as to whether these numbers are small or these numbers are big. Because depending
Right,
on
sir.
your commitment, dedication, your team's commitment, your team's dedication, the value will be decided. So this is how the process of your business will be. So if you can go back to that slide, you know, where you shared some of the financials, I may
Yeah.
try and give you some ideas to what
Yeah.
value you can expect
Yeah,
as it
just a
stands
second, sir.
today. So can you go back to that slide?
Yeah, just a minute, sir. I will present it.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is the slide.
Right. So you know what you're showing in this. Okay, Akshay. So what you're showing in this slide is the total number of kits required. So considering kit selling price to be 15,000, and you are showing a total revenue of 63 lakh. Now
63
remember,
lakhs.
63 lakhs, correct. So basically, it is very difficult to, or not advisable also, to base the valuation of a business based on the turnover, because the valuation of a business can be based only on the profit. So what you will need to do, as I said earlier, you will have to make a business plan, and as part of the business
Okay.
plan, you will also need to estimate as to what are going to be your cost for producing 1 unit of this product. And that is where, as an entrepreneur, as a budding entrepreneur, as a startup, you have to be very careful, because if your cost is going to be more than your selling price, then you are in trouble. So obviously you will need to ensure that your cost all put together, all costs put together, all, when I say all, meaning absolutely all, your production cost, your administration cost, your interest cost, your depreciation, all costs put together, it has to be more than the selling price. Now, just be me. So let's say hypothetically, just to give you an idea as to how you do the valuation. Let's say your cost is coming to 10,000, and your cost is coming to
Original BOM cost
10,000.
is 9,700. So all the things including like for assembly worker payments and all those things. So it is
Right.
9,700 rupees.
Okay, I'm assuming even the okay, I'm assuming every component, rounding it up to 10,000. So luckily, it's just a coincidence that what cost I'm assuming is
It's near to that one,
matching
yeah.
with what you have in reality with you. So now look at this. So you have the selling price of 15,000, and
Yep.
you have all your costs put together of 10,000. That means you are earning a profit of 5,000 per piece, and 5,000 per piece, and that means you are selling, let's say 1,000. So 5,000 is the profit per piece, and you are selling 1,000 units. So that means you are earning a profit of 5 million. 5 million, right? So 50 lakh. 50 lakh is the profit that you are earning. So assuming that the cost of capital of the person who is investing his money is 10%, the value of your business will become 5 crore.
Okay.
That means anybody would be prepared to buy your business at 5 crore. So if he buys it at 5 crores, he will be making a profit for himself. But if he
Okay.
pays you more than 5 crore, then he will be incurring losses for himself. So this is how you will do the valuation of your business. So based on the numbers that you have in, I hope that that gives you some idea
Yeah, yes, definitely.
about how
It's a
the
new learning for
valuation
me. I got the
is
idea.
done, Akshay.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yeah, Dr. Bhavna, it's over to you now.
Yes, thank you, sir. I think it was really I would say uh, limelight into what a startup has to look into. I guess the other startups also and the people who are the aspirants for startup, including me. I've been not aspirant, but still I have been into aspirant for this area to develop and create the ecosystem. I have taken an oath that I am there to develop this ecosystem. So it was a great learning, Mr. Pramod Jain. Yes, so I think Akshay, you got quite a good hint about this, what you will be getting out of your startup. That is what could be said. Moving to the next, yes, Michael, anything from your side here? Michael?
No, not from my side. I'm just watching. I'll let you guys do the job.
Okay, yeah.
All good.
So one thing, Mr. Pramojan, there are few questions which are raised. Shall we take the questions now or we will take the questions at the end?
We can take them right now.
Yeah, okay. So the first question which is raised here is from Mr. Pratik. I guess Pratik, you raised your hand. You can ask Pratik. Please go on.
Hi,
Yeah,
good
Pratik has
afternoon.
written to Akshay. Are you sure the cost price is rupees 10,000? Have you
Yeah,
considered the marketing cost?
yeah.
Akshay,
So yeah, we have gone through that one. So 9,700 is our BOM cost, including marketing and packaging
No,
stuff.
but what is the marketing that you've considered?
Right now we have only considered the Maharashtra schools and the STEM related institutes itself.
No, no, no,
But
no. My question is very specific. For
yeah,
your product to be available, so you're based out of Pune, for example, or Mumbai,
yeah.
and for your product to be visible to a college in Ambajogai, for example, how will that college know that your product even exists?
Yeah, I am having one marketing partner, Mr. Ankit Gupta. So he's already marketing some stuffs in colleges and in other things like. So he's the person for that one.
But you considered only his salary, or I mean, you're not even looking at
No,
digital
he's
marketing
a partner
or
in, yeah, he's a partner here.
okay, but are you considering digital marketing or marketing on the print
Yeah, he's
media
having
or
his own setup
Uh,
for these things.
can I can I can I interfere, please, if you allow me?
Yeah, sure, sir.
sure, sure.
I would say that your question is certainly a valid one, undoubtedly, and instead of making it as a question, you can just leave it with him as a suggestion as to whether you have considered the marketing cost comprehensively or not. And I think that's good enough at this point in time because there's a lot more elaboration, a lot more expansion has to be done as far as the product is concerned. So for this at this juncture, I think your question can be given as a suggestion that please ensure that your the cost that you're talking about of 9,700 is all comprehensive. And I am sure in any case, they as the entrepreneurs, they as the startup would take care of that. They will not leave that blank.
Yeah, I just want
Pratik,
to
I
add
hope that
something to that.
that gives you an.
Just wanted to add something on that, that marketing cost that you're considering, Akshay, should not be only related to a marketing person. There are various methods of marketing which you need to explore as well.
So
Yeah,
to
okay.
answer to that question, that my Ankit Gupta is my training partner for this. So he's already having his setup for marketing. So he's having everything, like he's having graphics designers and digital marketing or some campaignings. He's running all those things already. So yeah, and his partner. So he's taking care of those things. So I will definitely like get more information from him about these things. Okay, so that is a very good suggestion for me. Thanks for that.
Yes, good suggestion, Mr. Pratik. I think that would surely everyone should note it, that it has to be incorporated without fail when you go for this valuation for your startup. Calling the next startup, the second startup, I think Akshay Jain, you are there? Akshay Jain?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Yes. Yeah. I would request Michael to please give him the rights to share the screen so that he would be able to do that.
I accept. I changed it so everybody can share now. So like all the other participants should be able to.
Okay.
One
Yeah.
second, I will share the screen now.
Yes, yes, please.
Full screen. One second.
Dr. Bhavna, others? Okay, good.
Hi, sir. It's Akshay Jain from Develop Train Maintain, and I would like really thank all of you to be here and really give us this opportunity. So we are from Develop Train Maintain. It's a renewable energy startup. Currently, I am presenting you my product Vayu Mitra, the rooftop table turbine. So here is our team. It consists of me and Pranay Khubragade as founders, Dr. Vikas Shinde as our mentor, and Mr. Dinesh Ishrani as our business mentor. So actually we studied in Lonavala. During our study, we have seen many people facing these problems of inadequate sunlight and irregular grid supply. So that's why what happened that they are totally dependent on diesel gensets because there is no sunlight to actually have the solar there. So hence we developed Vayu Mitra, the rooftop table turbine. As we all know, India is the fourth largest wind capacity in the world. Hence, it can we have a proof that India is quite good in wind energy. So this energy can be utilized directly from the rooftops. Vayu Mitra is a turbine which is 70% wind and 30% solar, and it can actually capture. It can actually sustain the Indian conditions. Coming to the target market, which we have, is our small hotels, farmhouses, schools, and government buildings. These are our main targets, and all the windy play means it can be placed anywhere where wind is around 5 meters per second throughout the year. So it is very low wind speed, and we have designed it to Indian conditions. Our TAM is around 4375 crores. That is considering only 55 hill stations that are around India. Now, coming to the cost of the turbine is 1.5 lakh rupees, expecting a gross profit of 30%. The AMC for this is 10,000 per year, and the customer ROI which we have calculated is 7.5 years. Currently, we have chosen Lonavala and Mahabaleshwar as our scaling unit because they are most favorable and nearer to us. And we are always calculating NIWE wind speeds from NIWE maps, that is National Institute of Wind Energy, and then we will be providing the turbines. So coming to the major problems that people face, mainly hotels face, is that they have a tourist season, that too in monsoon, and they don't have any electric supply. The lights can go for one day or a few days, few hours, or even sometimes half a week. So we audited many customer properties, and we actually shared the idea and got intents from them. And we have a pilot order which we are doing with INS Shivaji. It's a 1 kilowatt turbine order. Coming to the marketing plan, we are thinking of marketing it through the dashboards of hotel website, because most of the customer are tourist places which regularly check their websites. And we will also do tie-ups with existing distributors so that the reach could be easier. We have contacts and referrals for government contact through our incubators and as well as personal contacts. So competitive analysis, there are many turbines in the industry currently. Some of European like Solar Mill, Chinese turbines are also there, which are really cheap, and also other companies, there are many Indian companies which are going in this industry. But industry has not actually accepted the idea. Why? Because most of the turbine is rated at 10 to 12 meter per second, and even you have a very high capital investment. There is no subsidies currently for wind as per solar. And the main thing, it actually disturbs the aesthetics of your building. Do you think this fan look good on your building? I don't think so, and nobody will. So after 3 years of research, we actually made this model. We included ducts. These are guide vanes, and these help our turbine. It makes it efficient, beautiful, and even better. So, and even safer for birds. And also, we are choosing VAT, vertical axis turbine over horizontal axis, because it is omnidirectional, noiseless, and even the main advantage is you don't have to construct any pole, structure, anything. You can directly place it and it will go. And this special means the solar and wind are capable of giving you 24/7 electricity for many days. Now, actually seeing our main competitor, that is diesel gensets. Here is a calculation for a hotel of capacity of 30 years, where the diesel generates around 25 rupees per kilowatt. So the capex, the total means, and the yearly expense is around 1.5 lakh rupees for diesel plus grid. Whereas with Vayumitra, we only take 2417 kilowatt from the grid, that is 28% of the total required electricity. That costs us 62,000 rupees, including the maintenance of the turbine, everything. So by the end of 10 years, you will be saving 4.2 lakh rupees at least. Talking about our current status, we have started this. We have been working on this project since college, and this was our first prototype, which we made in 2018. It was not so efficient, but it gave us a validity for the idea. Now we actually developed in-house wind tunnel, and we tested different 3D printed designs. Then we came to our present existing model, which gave us 50% increase in the efficiency. We have also tried with adjustable guide vanes. And also currently for this design, we have got MET grant from SAIN IIT Bombay of 6 lakh rupees to develop this prototype as MVP. Important milestones is that the installation of INS Shivaji will be completed by December this year, and we will be ready to launch the product by September 2021. So the projected revenue is around 47 lakh for 2021, and we will discuss further. And the main goals which we have in mind is to undertake different renewable energy under our umbrella, so that we can provide all types of green solution to different people. The impact we actually want is to rejuvenate, and it actually resonates with the main frame of India, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat. We want to make people even energy sufficient. We want people to have their own energy. And another thing is we want to actually rejuvenate the rural economies. So that's it. And coming here to the financials, we projected a revenue of around 11 lakhs this year, 47, 1.87. These all figures are in lakhs, and we have projected to up till 25-26, year 25-26. After doing so, we came to know that the product development, for product development, we will be needing 24 lakh rupees, out of which we have already bootstrapped and got the grant that is equal to around 12-13 lakh rupees. And also we are applied to different other models for CCPS type of funding or different things. And we will need a seed fund next year of 1 crore in 2 tranches of next year and next to next year, 21 and 22, in the year 21 and 22. Calculating by the RIM method, our valuation is around 3.56 crores, and DCF method it's around 2.01 crores. Thank you very much.
Yes, Akshay, it was really nice to go through your presentation, the startup which you are into, and almost on the first, I would say, the order, and you're going to make it ready by December 2020. So most welcome. Hopefully it will be it really energizes the society. So now over to Mr. Pramod Jain for the comment to this.
Yes, Akshay, I think my heartiest congratulations to you and also to your team. It is really very heartening to see the young India of being so proactive and thinking in terms of the vision of the leader of the country. So you people thinking in terms of making the rural economy strong, making the rural economy self-reliant in terms of energy. I think this augurs very well, Akshay, in my view, as far as our country is concerned. And I can tell you, you people are the future of this country. And I wish everyone in this country, the whole population that we have in this country of 135 crore, I wish every one of them thinks the way you have thought about it. Because ultimately, remember, a progress of a country depends not on the contribution of few people. Progress of the country, progress of economy of in terms of aesthetics and things like that. I mean, my sense is it is definitely viable. It is definitely workable. It is definitely feasible. You have given the valuations already showing the RIM method. So maybe for the benefit of everyone, you would like to share with everybody as to how have you been. Very happy to share my own thoughts. But before that, you would also like to share as to number one, the prototype that you did in 2018, how it is functioning as it stands today. And what was the feedback? Yeah, and what was the feedback that you got from from the customer, that Shivaji. Are you online as far as the schedule is concerned? And is INS Shivaji paying you enough to take care of the entire project?
So
three
currently, sir,
questions I'm asking you.
yes, sir. So currently, first thing is that this prototype we have actually tested for around 1.5 years, but it was not. It doesn't give us a good result as of what you can say. The result was not good through wind capturing capacity, because it was quite small model. It was a 150 watt model, and it performed, but the city conditions are not good for it. It was actually installed in Chinchwad itself around 6 to 7 months. Currently, it is once again we are trying to set it up somewhere else, and but it gave us a confirmation about the material. That is that the aluminum is one of the best material because it can sustain all the weather conditions over here in India. And second thing you asked is about INS Shivaji. So as INS Shivaji currently we will get the means feedback after we install the turbine in December. They have been paying us, but the thing is that we have actually quoted them a lot lesser, because the quotation got sanctioned last year itself, but due to Corona, we were not able to do anything. So we actually quoted them around 1.5 lakh rupees for the entire system, including battery and everything. But that is not the case currently, as we are seeing it. So it's not a very profitable project, but it will give us a good chance to actually prove our project, because that would be really hopeful for us.
Very good. And how have you done this valuation following the RIM method and the DCF method?
Sir, actually, I will share that also. Sir, actually, we have done is using this Excel sheet. We were in a boot camp for India Fund Fest, and they give us this Excel sheet. So it has actually employee cost, other expenses, revenue projections, then assumptions are there in which you have to give COGS and everything means like sundry debtors, inventory, and everything we have to actually include, and even the cash flow they have calculated. Then this class comes out actually. And the share capital also we have submitted. So we actually put everything, we calculated, we estimated everything which was possible, and then the DCF calculations for EBITDA and everything was done, and then it gave us the valuation for it.
I see. Okay, and I suppose your business proposition is that this product you are working on because you feel that there are certain areas where the solar windmill will not work, and that is why you are proposing this particular idea.
So solar will not work. That's why we are proposing. Just the wind turbine design is changed, because sir, there are many advantages with this design, which we want actually. Because there are many other advantages, that like efficiency of a normal classic windmill is higher than that of a vertical axis turbine. But the maintenance is high, and we have literally seen many turbines all over the country, that the turbine has been installed, but due to that you have to climb on the turbine and do the maintenance, people are not doing the maintenance at all. They are just leaving it, and the turbine is standing still, or one of the blades has gone, or anything is happening. So that's why we actually decided for increasing the efficiency, actually we are using that special structure called ducts.
Mm-hmm.
And sir, one of the questions is that I actually wanted to ask that currently if we see that because of our capital investment is higher, and even the means EBITDA and our break even is a little longer. So the forecast due to RIM or DCF is quite lower if you can see. So what can be included to actually make it?
Yeah. So Akshay, for that, I think uh, for finding out why your break-even is coming high,
Yes.
and how your valuation is going to be, why your valuation according to you is reflecting to be low. We will really have to look at the numbers very closely. Do you have your investment in the assets somewhere in this? Maybe you can click on the capex and we can see as to how much is the capex you are taking there. Right. So you are showing a capex. All right. All put together. Okay. So now you are showing this capex infrastructure of 15 lakh, keeping it 3 lakh in 23-24.
Yes.
Are you looking at scaling up happening in 24-25? Is that the reason? And then again, I can
Yes,
see
sir.
that in 25, you're bringing it down to 5 lakhs again. So why is that so? Oh, this is the incremental capex.
Sir, the main
Is,
thing is
is
that
this
because yeah, we will be scaling up to actually process that much number of turbines which we are willing to sell. In 24-25, we will actually scale up a little bit. Like the main infrastructure cost would be a bigger factory or a storage unit, which would be actually purchased in 24-25, kind of like that. And other years there would be a small development of capex, like some shed is there, some other thing is there. But the main investment which we wanted to do is after we have a somewhat good traction, that in 24-25 we will actually scale a little bit more. So that's why a 15 lakh investment there.
so okay. So on an average, what is the on an average? What is the
Pardon me sir, I can't
on an
hear
average?
you.
How much is the sale? Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah,
So
yes.
my question, Akshay, is on an average, how much is the sales realization you are expecting on each unit that you sell?
Sales realization means as in for means I actually didn't understand the sales realization thing. Like we are selling
That means
80
how much?
around. Pardon me. Sir, can you repeat, sir, please?
Uh, okay. No, it's fine. I can see it here on the screen. It's right. Okay. Can you also take it to income statement?
Yes, sir.
Can you shift
Cash flow.
it? Show the income statement.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Good. And can you take now to the RIM valuation? Okay, good. I think that's fine. Thank you. Thank you, Akshay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now what I would like to add to what you already have done, Akshay. Uh, as I said in earlier, for the purpose of valuation of any business, we have to be very careful about the costing. And when I say we have to be very careful about the costing, it has to be the costing of the product as well as the costing of the project. So
Yes.
both these costing has to be as accurate and as precise as possible. Besides, of course, being realistic about the market potential.
Yes, sir.
If anything goes wrong in any of these three things, and that the business starts coming into trouble. So either if the demand is not coming as per your expectation, or the
Okay.
product cost is coming more than what you anticipated, or the project cost is coming more than what you anticipated, then the businesses start getting into trouble. So if you are able to do the right costing, number one, the right costing of the project, and number two, right costing of your
Yes.
product, and number three, estimating the demand for your company's product, then I think you will absolutely be on the right path in getting good valuation actually.
Yes, sir.
Remember, all these models that we talk about, all these models can always be fine tuned. So because the value can
Yes, sir.
change depending on what is the cost of capital that you are assuming. The valuation can change
Yes, sir.
based on what is the growth rate that you are considering. And therefore, when you are doing the valuation, you also need to ensure that you take the right kind of cost of capital, and you also take the right kind of growth rate. So once you take these
Yes.
five factors into account, you would arrive at the right valuation. One thing that I would like to recommend, Akshay, to you at this point in time, see, it doesn't really matter. Of course, one has to when you are trying to get hold of the market, you have to make some compromise on your pricing, right? But remember, even if you are making a compromise on the price, let the customer know that my actual cost is so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I would expect that you must buy this product, even if it is prototype, even if it is the first product, doesn't really matter. So even if it is INS Shivaji, tell INS Shivaji, look, this is my costing.
Yes, sir.
You can show everything to them and
Yeah.
tell them the minimum that I expect is at least 25% on this. If you can't make 25% on this, then at least give me my cost,
Yeah.
and also give me an assurance that once I install this product at your place, and you are happy with it, at that time you will give me this 25%. And this is what you must also take care, when it comes to the negotiations. Please remember, in life, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. In life, you don't get what you deserve. More often, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. Negotiate
Yes.
well. Negotiate well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you, Dr. Bhavna.
Yes, I think there were certain questions, but I think in the chat the discussions parallelly going on, and I hope the questions are being satisfied. If anything still is pertaining, I would say we will take over this after the last presentation, because the
We can
fourth
take them
group
in
could
the
not
end.
join. Yes, so there is one more group which we'll be looking into, and the last group is Nigel. You are there?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Nigel, please take over. Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, there's a problem with my internet connection. From my laptop, the Zoom meeting has got disconnected. So
Oh.
please give me a moment to rejoin.
Okay, sure. So till that time, shall we take the question which is in the chat? I'll do that. I'll go to that question. I think Suhas Darvi's thing is being answered by Pranay. So Mr. Pratik's question is there to Akshay. Do you have a comparison to the cost of solar plant and windmill plant? Secondly, what about storage of electricity produced? What is the cost of maintenance of battery? I asked this question as for solar, there is this opinion of sending the generation to the grid rather than storing electricity in batteries.
I'm actually, someone has already answered this question. My predominant question was that in the presentation he's compared it to a genset. But I would want to know what is the comparison to a solar uh, electricity kit in comparison to your windmill, because in both the cases you're using batteries. And the second question is that in the comparison cost of saving that you said that you save 4 lakh rupees in about 10 years, that does not include the cost of battery. And I say that because I have a 6 kilowatt solar generation kit. So the cost of battery and the maintenance is very high. And that is the reason why people started sending solar generated electricity to the grid and then fetching it rather than storing it. I understand your target audience is where the grid is not available, but it would be good if you can give a comparison between solar and wind rather than genset and wind.
Okay, sir. So the places that we are targeting have inadequate sunlight. Means there is no option of solar panels there, because for the 4 months there is no sunlight and they can't produce electricity. Okay.
Okay.
So you're getting me? Yeah. And the places where solar is available, we can't compete with the solar, because solar is very cheap than us, and it also has subsidies. Okay, so we can only operate in windy places and where sunlight is inadequate.
Sir, basically our market is very segregated and we have selected a niche market so that it is not as comparable with, like, I am not going to Tamil Nadu at all. I will not be selling our product in Tamil Nadu, because Tamil Nadu has sunlight all over means around the year. So they won't actually purchase your turbine. But in places, as you have seen, if you are from Pune, you will be seeing in Lonavala or Mahabaleshwar, it is not even sunny for a day on 4 to 5 months. So, and these are the main means this is the main period when firstly the light there is a light cut. Always there is one tree will fall, one pole will fall, and there would be a light cut. So this is the main area over there. And the second thing is that you need this is the tourist season, so you need consistent electricity. And that time, if you don't have solar, then there is no sun and you will not be able to operate. So that's why we are making this project. And secondly, sir, I am getting that the cost which I have actually said is including everything, including spares, batteries. Even if you have to, means I have considered a battery replacement in my cost of 10 years. I have even considered a battery replacement at the end of 7th or 8th year. As today we are sufficiently trying to provide lithium ion batteries so that the age is at least 8 years for people. So in comparison, I will directly say to the solar may be possibly, if you get a off-grid system, it is around 80,000 rupees, 85,000 rupees per kilowatt. We are not able to do that much, and we are selling it at 1.5 lakh rupees.
Okay, I mean, we can have this discussion offline also. So
Sure.
you can, ma'am, you can continue this.
Okay. Yes, going back to Nigel. You can take on, Nigel.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please wait for 1 minute. I'm just uploading the file onto my phone.
Nigel, but you should take the least time, huh? Five
Yes,
minutes.
ma'am. Just 2% is remaining. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
No, for completing the presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Is my screen visible?
Yes. Your screen is visible. Please go on. Yeah.
Yes. Good afternoon to all. I am Dr. Nigel Gonsalves. I am a physiotherapist and a research scholar at Dr. D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth. My ideas are healthcare service, which I am trying to promote. Which I'm actually trying to pioneer in the field of diabetic rehabilitation. And my main project that I try to present is Diabetico Rise and Move. The main problem statement that we have is diabetes mellitus. As you see in this, diabetes mellitus is a very common condition, and there are many individuals who suffer from diabetes mellitus. Presently, in the year 2019, 77 million Indians are diabetic, and it is projected that by the end of the year 2030, 101 million will be diabetic, and 134 million will be diabetic by the end of the year 2045. In the diabetic population, India is number 2 presently in the world, only behind China. And in the Indian population, about 56.8% of the population in India has not heard about diabetes mellitus. This includes the rural as well as the urban population. Deaths due to diabetes, around 16% of the deaths globally in the world occur in India due to diabetes. This means that 1 in every 6 deaths in the world occurs in India due to diabetes mellitus. The main causes for these are late identification of complications. Another reason presently is the coronavirus pandemic. And thirdly, the poor connectivity and referral of patients for better medication. Our proposed solution is Diabetico Rise and Move. Our main service is to provide diabetic rehabilitation and specialized diabetic programs for diabetic individuals. Our main competition, we are basically following a blue ocean strategy. And presently, there are hardly any competitors in the field, and those who are do not provide as number of services as we plan to provide. And they are providing at a very small or local scale, and we are trying to do it on a larger scale. Our barriers to entry is that we are looking for a legal support, technical support, legal support because there can be issues related to copyright issues, IPR, intellectual property rights issues, and also for medical legal cases. We are looking for technical support and investor support for funding. We are looking for mentor support and access to accelerator support and marketing support and co-working spaces. Our main revenue model is a three-tier system where we will be having a semi-direct sales, where we'll be following a business to customer module, where we, Diabetico Rise and Move, will be coming in contact with another business like private hospitals or private dispensaries, doctors, who in turn will get in contact with our potential customers who are the diabetic patients, or we'll be having direct sales where we'll be directly in contact with the hospitals, government hospitals or NGOs who will be paying for the services that we'll be providing for the diabetic individuals. And also we'll be having is like indirect sales where we'll be directly contacting the customer, the clients who are the diabetic patients, and we'll be providing our services. Our target market is basically the diabetic population of India. Our services, we have already presently started with diabetic education in the general population on a very small scale. We have started a diabetes educator program for the general public and as well as for medical practitioners, where we are training them and educating them about the finer aspects of diabetes and what special precautions need to be taken. And we've already started with a blood glucose control program, which includes a physiotherapy protocol having the various exercise regimen, a diet, customized individual diet programs are followed, as well as a screening of the individuals are followed, as well as we will be conducting laboratory tests as for the blood glucose levels for the potential clients. And we will also be working on the research work, and also be looking forward to collaborating with educational institutions like medical colleges, where we will be providing our services. The milestones. We have already achieved a proof of concept. We have already registered a randomized control trial along with CTRI India in June 2020. And we have completed a preliminary market study. And we have already started the procurement of some of the equipment. Funding. Till date, we have fund from friends and family as well as from bootstrapping. We have accumulated 2 lakh rupees, which is mainly being used on the equipment that we will be using for the diabetic rehabilitation services. Our team consists of, this is myself, Dr. Nigel Gonsalves. I'm the PhD scholar and a researcher as well. I'm a diabetes educator as well as clinical physiotherapist, and I'll be managing the administrative work of Diabetico Rise and Move. Dr. Syed Sultan Rafael is a clinical physiotherapist, and he himself will also be in charge for the marketing as well as finance and for the administrative work. AIC Pinnacle and DPU FIE are also our partners, will be providing a mentor support, legal support, and market connect support as well as industry connect. This is the end of my presentation.
Nigel? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's something really which is the need of the hour. But one thing, it's things like this are existing. That's one of the thing. Yeah. And second thing is no valuation or no revenue things are seen here. So anything which you would like to share or say on this?
I have not prepared anything as such. Basically, in our any business plan that we have derived is that we'll be conducting a preliminary market study where we'll be conducting a survey with the mainly with the doctors in the hospital, and we'll be finding out what are their views about the diabetic condition, diabetic patients, along with their specific specialty. For example, an orthopedician, what are problems does he feel with with a diabetic patient that is very specific to diabetic patient? What does a gynecologist see? What does a neurologist see? And we'll be comparing and creating a program. Basically, we are a healthcare service. We are not basically making any product as such, and we'll be like basically as the patients come, we'll be providing them services on a large scale, which will include with customized individual diet plans, referrals for them, as well as exercise programs, ergonomic advice, and basically advanced modalities, physiotherapy modalities to help to control the complication blood glucose levels, and to reduce the complications in diabetes mellitus, thus by improving the lifestyle and the health, and thus reducing the death toll due to diabetes mellitus.
Okay, still, so let us look into what Mr. Pramod Jain can suggest for your this startup. Yes, over to Mr. Pramod Jain.
Yeah, thank you, Bhavna, and congratulations, Nigel. Now, see, there are a few things that we need to consider for the purpose of valuation. As far as your product is concerned, in terms of demand, in terms of requirement, in terms of need, it is very much there, because diabetes, as we all know, is a very pervasive problem in our country. Uh, One thing that I would like to mention here is whatever product that you are thinking in terms of, have you done it already with someone practically? And do you have some data available as to how has been the impact of the product that you are offering to them? How have they benefited? How many of them have benefited? And that's number one. Because all said and done, your revenue stream will depend on not only the satisfaction level of the people, but also the success level of the people actually. So with your product, how many people have really been able to keep their diabetes under control or cure their diabetes? That is what you will need to have a look at it actually. And then of course, you will need to convert those numbers, and you will need to put your organization in place. You will need to target as to how many people do you wish to cater to. Are you intending to make this only a pan Pune program, or you intend to spread it out throughout the Maharashtra, and then of course take it out and make it pan India? So all those planning will need to be done at this stage. Only after you have those things ready, you would be in a position to ascertain as to what kind of valuation your business will get. Undoubtedly, you will also need to estimate as to how much is the project cost, how much the capex that you will need to spend, which I'm sure your finance team will take care of that actually. So this is all from my side, Nigel. In case if you have any question about it, you can of course ask me. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
Yeah, yes, sir. Sir, what will the basic guidelines require as to because I am in a healthcare service sector?
Mm-hmm. So see, ultimately, Nigel, is like this. Uh, Anything that you do as a commercial activity, it has to generate profit. Unless and until any business, it doesn't really matter as to where it is and what it is, what is the product, what is the service, doesn't really matter. It has to generate the revenue. And I will not stop at the revenue. I would say it has to generate profit. And your starting point, Nigel, should be that if you really wish to scale it up, and which I'm sure you should, because any business activity should not be confined to only the research table or experimental table. It should be expanded. So first of all, you need to see as to what kind of value that you will be giving to the people in terms of this product. How much in your estimation they would be prepared to pay you per person. Whether the stream can be monthly, annual, or you can work out the model of invoicing to your prospective customers. And then you will also need to estimate how much is going to be a cost that you will incur. Obviously, you will need to have certain equipments, and for those equipments, you will need to arrange the funding. Funding can come by way of the debt, or it can come by way of equity. Equity can come, of course, through different, angel investor, or maybe your friends, relative, and things like that. And so you need to find out both these things. How much is my revenue going to be? How much is going to be my cost? Whether at the end of it, am I getting some cash in my hand? And if I am getting some cash in my hand, and that is where, Nigel, you will have to do the calculation, whether the cash that I am getting in my hand is good enough for the efforts that I'm putting into it. Actually. So this is how this should be your starting point for taking it forward. Yes, Nigel.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Yes, I
Over to
think
you, Dr.
what you
Bhavna.
yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable, I would say, the words which would surely help Dr. Nagel to move further. That is what, because it seems he's right now in the beginning stage. Yes, so might be he was not able to do any valuation for his in this state. Any question from any other participant at this moment? Yes, regarding what we had discussed about the things. Yeah. I would request Dr. Nagel to please stop sharing the screen so that we can be back. Yeah. Yes. Anyone from the audience? Any question related to valuation? Yes. I would request Mr. Pramod Jain to please give few tips so that people will get to know, because these are all the aspirants. Might be they must not be having even the questions where to start and what to do. So I really request you to please give certain tips on this. Yeah.
Sure, sure, Bhavna. Now, first of all, there are 2-3 things that I would like to share, friends, with all of you, as regards your startups. Number one, always remember, purpose of any business is to create value. Many times, the young entrepreneurs, they are so passionate with the idea, with the concept that they have on their mind, that they just want to go ahead with it, which is good. But you should simultaneously question yourself as to how this proposition of mine is going to create value. Because unless and until your proposition is creating value, remember, it will not sustain, it will not last. It will not last with anyone. Any investor would like a business which is creating value. Any lender will like that the business is creating value. So that is number one thing that you must remember, that whatever is your business proposition, it should create value. Now, what is the meaning of creating value? The meaning of creating value is whatever is the idea that you have, whether it is a product or it is a service, either it should increase the pleasure of the people, or it should reduce the pain of the people. And if you can see that in your business proposition, I think you have hit the jackpot. But if your business proposition is not giving you the confirmation that your business proposition is either going to increase somebody's pleasure or it is going to reduce somebody's pain, then is that proposition, that business proposition that you have will not last. So that is number one that you must remember. Business has to create value. And what is the meaning of creating value? The business proposition has to create value. And what is the meaning of creating value is number one, your business proposition, your product, your service should either increase the pleasure of your customer or it should bring the pain down of your customer. If that is what you have, you will sustain, you will survive, and you will grow, and your business will get tremendous value. Please remember why Google is getting so much value today. Why Google is getting so much of value today. And I'm sure you can understand why Google is getting so much of value, because Google is adding so much of value. Can you imagine, or rather we cannot imagine, nobody can imagine that if for a moment, if Google closes down for 1 hour also, 10% of the population of the whole world will be in the mental hospital, because they are so much dependent on Google today, because the Google is creating so much of value today. So be driven by value creation, that my business has to create value. Number two that I would like to share is be aware of the lifeline of your business. And what is lifeline of your business? Lifeline of any business, remember, is the cash profit. Is the cash profit. So you as the startup owner, you as the first generation entrepreneur must always ensure that your business is generating cash profit. So long as your business is generating cash profit, remember, you will be never in trouble and your business will always be sustainable. The moment your business is not generating cash profit, it is from that time the business starts getting into trouble. So with these two thoughts, friends, if you are able to implement them, I'm sure you will have a fantastic future. I have no doubt about that. Thank you so much and wish you all the very best to every one of you in your ventures. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pramod Jain. As you are from the finance field, I would say you wrapped up with the same way. What's the profit and what's the value which should be worth of it? And really, that was something worth spending this 1.5 hours for last almost 90 minutes. We are there. Yeah. Before I end this event, I would the very first thing like to thank all the participants. That is, might be only 3 could turn up, those who were registered amongst the 7 registered. But it was a great learning, not only for you, both the Akshay Tijore and Akshay Jain and Dr. Nagel, but it was quite a great learning for all of us who were completely on the mode of seeing what is happening and how is happening and what it should be. With the tips and the moderations given by Mr. Pramod Jain and added value by certain questions put up by Mr. Prateek and obviously other people who are in this phase or in this meeting, I would say. Yeah. So just to introduce, which I promise that I'll be doing at the end of the event, to know about Mr. Pramod Jain. Yes, he's basically a CA, a business valuation professional, insolvency professional, an independent director, a global business coach, corporate trainer, motivational speaker, management faculty, authored 2 of the books, Finance for Value Creation and You Are a Born Winner. It's really, I would say, a great moment for us to have Mr. Pramod Jain here. But I think it was a very short span of time. Surely we would look forward to get you once again to have a detailed discussion on some related topic, because now we have decided to be into this domain of entrepreneurship, startup and innovation. I think one or the other way, as you said very right, unless it is making some value, it will not be worth doing anything. So obviously we'll come back to you. Going into detail of his I would say a resume, I would like to share that he is basically MBA in finance, then company secretary, is a bachelor of law, this is cost and management accountant, his postgraduate diploma in financial analysis, he's a chartered financial analyst and a chartered accountant. He has done number of courses of MCA and IBBI, having an experience of over total 36 years, wherein He has spent 20 years as finance head, legal head, and company secretary. In that complete 6 years, he was head of Finance Academy and senior advisor L&D in finance to ArcelorMittal, which is world's largest steel and mining company. 6 years as a global corporate trainer, business and life coach, and inspirational speaker. For last 4 years, he's practicing as a chartered accountant, insolvency professional, and business valuation professional registered, and as an independent director. He is having number of positions as an independent directorship. He is having an honorary position as a member on governing body of PCET Pune. And I think a number of things which you do have as a finance head, legal head, company secretary, as a chartered accountant, as a business valuation professional, as an insolvency professional, as advisor and coach for implementation, head of Finance Academy. Yes, I think, sir, the list goes on and on and on and on, because he is visiting and guest faculty with management schools and universities also. And then he is having programs on IBC and valuation. He is having hobbies and passions related to marathons, going long cycling rides, enjoying the games of golf, squash and tennis, trekking Himalayas, regularly writing on business, management, finance, life management, and other contemporary topics. And with that, he has generated certain social media connects through his training videos. He does have his LinkedIn presence, as well as Facebook presence, and YouTube, I think a YouTube presence also. So surely, sir, we would like to connect there also. We would like to connect Twitter you, as well as we would like to get to your Instagram also, because that is how the people in this event would like to get connect to you. So it was nice having you here, and whole of the thing to share with you. He is a basic Punekar, a Punate, and anytime people who are into Pune would connect to him. Now from my side, sir, since this today's event is our DoDash Pune launch, I invite you to be one of the part of this community which we are launching here, because this is really making startups investable. And I think it's without a person into core finance, this may not move further. So this is an open invitation, a honest invitation to you to be a part of this DoDash Pune Sparring Ring, and be with us, sir. We'll stay connected surely for a number of things going on. And thank you to all the participants who made up to be here, to present here, those who presented and those who kept a view of learning from these presentations. Yes, Michael, anything from your side before we close the event?
All good. It was a great session, and as you said, it was a great kickoff event. And yeah, I hope that otherwise many of you guys join the DoDash Pune community, and we can support to help you. If it comes to, we can help you evaluate your investment readiness. We will offer startup credits in the near future and further benefits. So make sure to join, and we're happy to see you there. And then, of course, join the next events by Bhavna ma'am that we are coming up in the near future.
Yeah, before we complete it, thank you, Michael. Before we complete it, I would say, please switch on your videos for a minute so that I can take a nice photograph. Please, I request everyone, those who are here on board, switch on your videos for just a minute. Everyone. Yeah, please, people who are there who have switched off their videos, just a minute, for a minute, not more than the minute. I know bandwidth would be drained, but still I would request everyone to please switch on the videos. There are still few who are remaining. Yeah. Yes, Nigel, you as a participant, we look towards you. Akshay Tijore, can I see him? Yeah, he's there, Akshay. Yes. Yes. Sanyukta, Kunal, any plans to switch on the video? Otherwise, I'll click this video. Yes. Sanyukta, Anshul, come on, Kunal, Dhruv. Yes. With this photograph, I click the photograph and I declare that today is very auspicious moment, Ghatastapna, and we started with the flagship of DoDash Pune Sparing Ring. So hope to see you all in that tribe to make it really a fruitful thing to create an ecosystem and strengthen each of us. Okay, so thank you. Have a nice day. Enjoy the auspicious day. Yes, thank you everyone. Yeah.